Good morning, everybody. Welcome to San Jose Unitarian Universalist Church. My name is Joe Mosier. I use the pronouns they, them, and I serve as the Director of Faith Formation at our church alongside Reverend Nancy Palmer Jones, pronouns she and her. And I'm really excited today because we have a guest speaker with us. But really quickly, before I introduce them, I just want to say we're so excited to have you here. And we hope you stay afterwards for some time of meet and greet with our guest speaker, as well as just some time for fellowship. And we'll have some announcements toward the end of the service. But I also wanted to mention quickly that if you're in need of some pastoral care this week, our pastoral associate for the week is John Hurd. And Monty's going to drop their email in the chat and their information right there. So if you need someone with a listening ear, John Hurd is the person to speak to. And let me introduce our team this morning that's helping out with this service. We have Monty, he, him on tech. We have Chris Skibo also helping on tech, he, him as well, and also helping with the waiting room. We've got Diana Meekum also helping with the waiting room. I'm going to do some announcements later on. I've already introduced myself. And now I would love to introduce CB. Let's get CB up and spotlighted so y'all can see them while I talk about them a little bit. There we go. And if you spotlight me as well, Monty, so that we're both visible, that'd be wonderful. Perfect. Hey, there's CB. All right, let me read what they have given me to introduce. So here we go. CB Beal, they, them, is a fat, white, queer, and non-binary UU religious educator, storyteller, and speaker. They make their home in a farmhouse library loft in Western Massachusetts, and they consult with individuals and organizations to increase consent culture, equity, and justice in the world. CB, we're so excited to have you with us today. Thank you so much, and it's great to see you. Thank you so much, Monty, for the spotlights. So we light a couple chalices at the beginning of our service. And the first one I'm going to do is our land acknowledgement chalice. So I'm going to light it. Let's see if I can do so without burning myself. Oops. There we go. Let me read these words for us. Our first candle of the service is lit in recognition for the Tamian and Muwekmo Ohlone indigenous peoples who graced this land thousands of years before us. We honor their resilience in the face of the devastating harm brought on them by colonial settlers. And we lift up the resilience of their neighboring descendants, the Amamutsan tribal band, with whom we are now working to preserve their holy land of Urastak. And we will have a really exciting announcement about all of that at the end of the service with our announcements, so stay tuned for that as well. This is a candle for all indigenous peoples and specifically those on our lands. And now we'll have our opening song. Thank you, Monty.
A link to the recording used in this part of the service can be found in the description.
That's a beautiful, beautiful song. We're now going to light our chalice. And while we light this one here, I invite you to type into the chat where you're lighting your chalice from. So the words that I like to use for the chalice lighting are these. The UU chalice means many things to all of us. And for me, it signifies the light of hope, the warmth of community, and the guidance of the truth within. So I'll light our chalices now. Give it just a few more seconds for more folks to put in their chalice lightings. Wonderful. All right, Monty, whenever you're ready, we'll turn off the chat, everyone, and we'll just have it off from here on out. Maybe give a couple more seconds for a few more. But while we're waiting for those, CB, if you'd love to go ahead and start, and then we'll just close the chat in a couple more seconds.
Our opening words this morning are the words of Donna Markova. I will not die in unlived life. I will not live in fear of falling or catching fire. I choose to inhabit my days, to allow my living to open me, to make me less afraid, more accessible, to loosen my heart until it becomes a wing, a torch, a promise. I choose to risk my significance, to live so that which came to me as seed goes to the next as blossom, and that which came to me as blossom goes on as fruit.
It's beautiful. We will now share the affirmation for this congregation, which will be on the screen, and I will read it off for us. We do it in English and also in Spanish. So here we go, wherever you are from at home, let's go ahead and do this together. So, love is the doctrine of this church. The quest for truth is its sacrament, and service is its prayer. To dwell together in peace, to seek truth in freedom, to serve humankind in fellowship, to the end that all souls may grow into harmony with the divine. This we do covenant with one another. El amor es la doctrina de esta iglesia. La búsqueda de la verdad es su sacramento. Y el servicio es su oración. Habitar juntos en paz, buscar la verdad con libertad y servir a la humanidad juntos, con el fin de que todas las almas pueden crecer en armonía con lo divino. Esto es lo que pactamos unos con otros.
This morning, I'm going to tell a story that's based on one by Kyle MacLean. It's called Spork. Now, the characters in the story, which was originally written as a picture book, but I have enlarged it somewhat with some words. The characters in the story are Spork, its parents, this fork and spoon, and various other cutlery. Later in the story, a toddler, a messy thing, comes upon the scene quite suddenly.
At this time in the service, CB Beal told us the story of Spork, a picture book written by Kyle MacLean, illustrated by Isabel Arsenault. A link to the book is provided in the description.
I'm really delighted to be with you this morning. Thank you for paying attention during that story. I want to tell you a little bit about the next song. Some of you may have seen the movie, The Greatest Showman, and this song has a very particular place in that movie, but it also has a special place in the life of the woman who performed it, and that's its purpose here today. Hugh Jackman had been trying for years to get this movie made, and finally things were coming together. Just a couple of weeks, 2 weeks before the meeting that was going to determine if the project would get funded or at all, they realized they needed one more song. That song was written in a week, and then it was practiced with only a week, and then it was sung for the first time anywhere in a studio run through for a room full of executives who would fund or not fund this movie. Now, Keala Settle was a stage actor and blues singer who Hugh tapped to sing the song, This Is Me. She'd only had a week, maybe less, to prepare in the midst of the regular rehearsals. The stakes were the highest of her entire career. She was petrified and didn't even want to come out from behind the music stand. This video is of the song in that moment, sung by a fearful woman who felt as if she had the weight of the world on her shoulders. We've all been that person, afraid, feeling alone, hiding behind a music stand or computer or fence that we have built around ourselves. We know what it is to be that fearful person. So join her now. Bear witness as Keala Settle sings, "This is me."
A link to the recording used in this part of the service can be found in the description.
Oh, I can't be the only one that's a little misty-eyed from that. That was so good. A reading by James Baldwin. For nothing is fixed. For nothing is fixed. Forever, forever, forever. It is not fixed. The earth is always shifting. The light is always changing. The sea does not cease to grind down rock. Generations do not cease to be born, and we are responsible to them because we are the only witnesses they have. The sea rises, the light fails, lovers cling to each other, and children cling to us. The moment we cease to hold each other, the moment we break faith in one another, the sea engulfs us and the light goes out.
I'd like to ask you all to take a breath. Feel your seat in your seat or your feet on the floor or the divan or the couch, wherever they are. Feel your feelings. Notice them. Give them names if you know what they are.
CB allowed us to post their homily for 2 weeks and then have it removed for intellectual property reasons. Links to CB's online material is available in the description.
We're going to listen to Spirit of Life for a moment next.
Oh, I'm sorry, I was trying to unmute and I finally can. Now is the time for our offering, which we will have playing while we listen to Spirit of Life. I don't know why I couldn't unmute myself, but now I can. Thank you so much, CB. That was such a wonderful, wonderful talk. We really, really, really felt it in our souls. All right, so if we can get the offering card put up, please, and then we will listen to Spirit of Life. Thank you so much for your support of our congregation and for being here in person, even if you can't support us monetarily. All right, everyone. It seems all of our tech people are experiencing a little bit of some freezing right now. So I'm going to share the music for Spirit of Life and hopefully the donation card in just a moment. So here we go. 1 minute. Thank you for bearing with us. We seem to all be frozen here, so we're working our way through it.
I think that we will all just bear witness to the amazing work that has been happening behind the scenes for this last, 18 months, while people practice learning new things with technology that changes. Zoom, did you all know that Zoom updates every Sunday morning? Yep, just before we go live is when Zoom decides that's the time for them to update. We often find lots of surprises. So I'm going to just bear witness for a moment to how amazing and great it is that these tech folks are able to keep up with this at all and give us this opportunity to gather together the way we do.
A link to the recording used in this part of the service can be found in the description.
Thank you for bearing with us through those technical difficulties. I'm able to share it.
A link to the recording used in this part of the service can be found in the description.
As we go back into the world today, however that is, this: wear your masks, wash your hands, love your people, and let them love you. Willy-nilly, I say.
I'm going to do our closing words before we go into our announcements, just for the flow. So Diana, just one moment. So we're so grateful that you all are here with us today. Thank you so much, CB, for a beautiful service. And the way we like to always close out our services is with some words that we say back and forth to each other in closing, which I'm pulling up right now because we had to close a few things down in the process. Hold on one second. Some of us have these memorized by heart. But I am not one of those folks. I could probably do it by heart, but I don't want to mess it up. I think that the weather is causing the computers to freeze. That would be my guess. All right. Almost pulled up. Amen.
Amen.
Salam.
Salam.
Shalom.
Shalom.
Blessed be.
Blessed be.
Ishtanajong.
Ishanajong.
Satsriyakal.
Satriyakal.
And then I like to add in any other blessing that goes with your faith tradition or just goes with the spirit of your heart. We're so grateful that you were here with us today.